Hello, I'm Sarah Green. Welcome to another board game barbecue video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Detective City of Angels. Detective City of Angels is not just another murder mystery game. It's a special occasion game. It's an event when you play it. This is the only game you're going to want to play in an evening. Spend time soaking up the theme. Pour yourself a glass of whiskey. Or maybe just an over-percolated coffee instead. Read the case notes, and I strongly recommend putting on a voice, which I'm not going to do now. Then knuckle down and crack the case. The rest of the evening, possibly even week, you are going to be talking to your friends about this game. So there are 3 ways to play Detective City of Angels, but I'm going to talk mostly about the classic mode. One player plays the Chisel, a game master of sorts. They know what happened and they can help set the scene. They're responsible for what answers the suspects are going to give the detectives during questioning. They will watch as the other players, the detectives, walk the crime-ridden streets of LA chasing down leads. The Chisel can help keep the game balanced. They can mislead detectives who are ahead, and they can provide more information to those who are struggling. The Chisel has as much fun as the detectives, even though they know who done it. The mystery element isn't there for them, but they win if the detectives can't solve the case within a number of rounds. Now I know this role is fun because I personally really enjoyed playing the Chisel. The detectives are less than squeaky clean themselves because they take protection money, which they can use later to bribe other detectives or snitches to find out what the other detectives know. Detectives are out for themselves in this game. It's not a cooperative game. They will do whatever it takes to solve the case first and get the glory. The gameplay is simple enough. Detectives take turns taking 4 actions on their turn, and these actions are explained on their player board. Now, since the game provides each player with 4 action cubes and the appropriate spaces to place them during their turn, there is never any confusion of how many actions a player has left, even when they've been interviewing witnesses. This is fantastic because what it means is that you spend more time actually analysing evidence and less time thinking about the rules of the game and where you are on your turn. Now, this is a clever design element that keeps you engaged in the story 99% of the time, instead of breaking that 4th wall. Now, the actions you can take are straightforward. You move to a new location in the district that you're in. You can move to an edge of the district, so you can then move into a different district. You can search in a location that you're in, or search a suspect that's in your location. You can question a suspect, you can bribe or take a kickback. Kickbacks are the best way to get cash fast, but you can't do it more than once per turn. All of the other actions can be carried out multiple times. If you question a witness and you ask the wrong question and you're not happy with the result, you can try a different line of questioning instead. If you're desperate for cash and you can take 1 scratch, which is money, but this action is weak and it's best avoided as much as possible. Questioning suspects is where the heart of the game lies, and the Chisel refers to their own book that lists all of the possible responses in a grid. I'm obviously not going to show you this now, but they take that grid reference and they find the appropriate card, place it in an envelope and hand it secretly to the detective who's asking the question. All the other detectives have a chance to bribe a snitch to listen in on that conversation if they can afford it. The active detective can challenge the Chisel if they think that the answer that they've been given was a lie or a misdirection. Just like any good cop movie, the suspects are unpredictable. Do you push them too far and they clam up? Or do you crack them open like an egg? Now, this mechanic is called leverage, and it's a lot of fun. It creates unique dynamics between the Chisel and each of the detectives. If the Chisel is challenged by a detective during the questioning and they were caught misleading or giving a dud response, the detective receives a leverage token. They can use that in the future. If the Chisel was telling the truth, then they get a leverage token to use against that detective. Now these tokens can then be used in future to block a detective asking a question, and the detective can also cash them in to stop a block from happening and to get a better response from the chisel. Now, this leverage means that the chisel character is a lot more challenging and a lot more fun. You need to use a lot of bluffing when you're providing the detectives with an answer. The player with the best poker face probably do well as the chisel. Now, this is a game where all the players feel like they have something unique to do. All the detectives are on their own journey, and they see a different set of evidence than the other detectives do. And the chisel, obviously, is on his own path as well. There are many avenues to seeking information about the case. And as you progress through the 9 cases, the stories themselves and the cases become more convoluted, and you need to decide what information is important and what is less important, or should be disregarded entirely. Now, detectives who find evidence in their location from searching a suspect can pocket that evidence, rendering it unavailable to the other detectives for 3 days or game rounds. Now, since you're all playing crooked cops, you can resort to bribery. Everyone is susceptible to bribery and you can't turn it down. So you can pay the detective to scratch to gain knowledge of the evidence that they found. Now, players whose leads have reached a dead end can get back in the game this way from cleverly using bribes. And that's why other players need to use their poker face as well. When they collect evidence, they need to show that it's not that important, otherwise everyone is going to want to have a look. Now, one reason why it's so easy to get into the theme of City of Angels is because the game gives you the tools to do so. The tutorial book holds your hand through case 1, and it actually provides this in the voice of your chief, which is really fun to read in character. Ryder Games also have audio clips on their website of the case briefings in case your West Coast accent is not up to scratch. Now, since reading the rules is the most unthematic thing you could possibly do, the tutorial book flipped the script on that and made it fun. I wish every game was as easy to learn as this one. Now, it's notoriously hard to find great games that can cater for up to 5 players. This one does that. There are also other ways you can play as well if you don't have that play account. You can play it solo using the special rules along with the sleuth book. The sleuth book acts as a chisel would. It has the suspect's answers in there. There's special rules for this, and as well as special rules for playing cooperatively. And you can also help each other solve the case, the detectives, against the chisel. Now, this is incredible flexibility that you don't see in a whole lot of games these days. I love the fact that there's these different modes available, and it means that there's really no excuse not to have this in your collection. At the moment, obviously, it's hard to get a big group together, but this allows you to play it in different ways. You could play it with a big group, or you could play it with 2 people and play it cooperatively. Now, usually when I play a game, I'm captivated either by the mechanics and give leniency towards the loose theming, or I'm engrossed in the theme, and then I need to give some leniency towards the mechanics. But City of Angels excels in both. It's such an elegant design and simple gameplay that keeps you so immersed in that theme. And I really enjoy this 1940s crime thriller theme. If you're into crime capers as well, then I strongly suggest checking out Detective City of Angels. It's really not a stretch for me to say that this is the most enjoyable murder mystery game I have played so far, and there is a lot out there. So thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more Board Game Barbecue videos.